Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. I'm giving you a couple of more seconds to join our Facebook and YouTube live because
All
today
right.
we will talk about very interesting subjects. But okay, I'm giving you the moment. Giving you the moment. And just in case if you wouldn't be able to tune in online like right now, you feel free to leave your questions in the comment section below, and we will get back to you whenever we will have time. Okay, so I think it was enough.
Yep.
It is that time of the year that many of you have been waiting for. The big moment for all interested candidates to learn more about the American Spaces Volunteer Program. Starting from this week, we are looking for volunteers. And to help us to find out more about this volunteer program and how to apply, America House Chisinau invited Nata Andreev, the Education Outreach Coordinator at the U.S. Embassy. Nata, I'm very happy, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's happy to see you today.
Hi, Sasha. Hi, everybody. It's always such a great pleasure being here on the America House Chisinau platforms.
Yeah, it is also, we have a very special background today, so it's even more pleasure. It was specifically made by Nata, so please give her a round of applause in the comment section below.
I do hope
And
people appreciate our newest designs.
yes,
Yeah, they're very
exactly.
hyped and very cool, in our humble opinion.
Yeah, at least we thought this way. So comment below if you think the same way. Okay, Nata, not floor is yours.
Mhm.
We can start with the presentation if you don't mind.
Yes. Yes, I
Okay,
think while people are gathering, I would really like to ask them how they feel, and if you
mm,
can pop up the presentation on the screen, that will be
sure.
amazing. So before I get started, I would like to invite everybody to comment how they feel based on a very famous character from Euphoria, because I heard that's what kids watch these days.
I
Right?
haven't seen it yet as well. Well, I'm not a
I
kid,
haven't
so
seen it
that's
either, but I am well aware of the cultural moment that Euphoria made. Let's see who's feeling a one, who's feeling a two, a three,
okay.
or a four.
We already have four. We already have four. The Queen. Okay, I love it.
What about you, Sasha? How you feeling today?
I
Mm.
mean, in the beginning, it all started with two. But now I think I'm something about like one, and we have also
Mm.
Dmitry that feels the same way.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I hope in the end of the day, I will feel four.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Constanza
so
also said
far.
three.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
with Constanza at this point. I know, Constanza, we are doing our best to look at four, but deep down inside, we're all free, right? So yeah,
I mean,
I
yeah.
can definitely relate to that. Um,
Mhm.
all right. So I truly, I'm truly hoping that the presentation and the information that I am about to share with everybody will boost your mood and will actually increase your serotonin inside. All right. So, as Sasha said, today we are going to talk about one of our favorite programs that we have at the US Embassy, and that's our volunteer program for American Spaces. And I think it is important that people understand, first of all, who we are as American Spaces, what we represent, what we stand for, and I think that's a very good practice for your future in general when you are applying for a job or even for a position as a volunteer. It's very good to do a little bit of research and understand what you're applying for, right? And what is the organization that is about to become a huge part of your life. All right. So, everywhere in the world where the US government has an official representative, they will have places like American Spaces. And so far, American Spaces are present in 142 countries. And this basically represents spaces where local people can gather and find more about the history and culture of the United States. Here in Moldova, we have four American spaces. We have America House in Balt, obviously America House in Chisinau. We also have American Center in Tiraspol and American Corner in Ungeni. And the program, the volunteer program, is actually open to everybody who has access to internet, because what we learned from the pandemic, that people want to get involved, and they don't necessarily need to have an American space in their village, town, city. If they have a computer and access to internet, they can definitely get involved with everything that we are doing, and anything that the American spaces are involved with, starting with all the resources and all the programs, are free of charge. So nobody will ever charge anything for what we are doing. It's public, it's open to everybody. And yeah, you should not miss any kind of events that American Spaces are doing, because we actually started to do a lot of online programming, so you can get involved really easily and you don't have to physically travel to any of those locations to be a part of our team. Before I start to dive deep in the criteria and program benefits for the volunteer program, I would like to tell you a little bit of history about our project. So it all started in 2015, so that will be 7 years ago. We've been doing this for quite some times. We do have over 100 people that participated in the volunteer program. The actual program lasts for 6 months. So if you are applying and you're thinking that, will I be able to commit for how long? Just so you know, we require 6 months of your involvement. So you can actually calculate. This program that people are applying for will round up or will end up somewhere around September, October. So it will basically cover the entire summer. I think that's a very good opportunity to do something during the summer that will benefit you later with your resume or with your letter to the university. And the whole process, the whole recruiting lasts for 2 weeks. As you said, on Monday, we announced the recruiting season, and the deadline is April 24th. That's a Sunday. So it maybe seems like a lot of time, but I assure you it's not really. This is already mid of first week, and we are already in about 12 applications, which I think is definitely amazing. So hey, don't leave it on the last days of the recruitment, even though I know that sometimes this is when the inspiration hits you the hardest, when the deadline is approaching. All right. So, candidates' criteria, right? First of all, we are looking for individuals that are between 16 and 21 years old. The reason why everything is in English, even this presentation is in English, and all our promo materials are in English, is because we would love to have candidates that are at an intermediate English level. But obviously, we saw this year after year that language is never a barrier. We had volunteers that maybe didn't like speak freely in English, but at least they could get involved in other ways. So do not focus that much on the English level. I think if you can prove your genuine interest in everything we're doing as American Spaces and for our program, you'll be a good match for us. And obviously, we're looking for people that are just interested to becoming community leaders. Like, for example, maybe you're involved in your local student council, or you're involved with other local organizations. We would love to see you apply and actually benefit from our program and pass on to the knowledge to other organizations or other people in your area and in your town. So, for those of you who really, really want to develop their leadership skills and take their volunteer experience to a whole new level, I think this is the perfect program for you. All righty.
Totally agree.
What are the benefits, right? Because I think it's only fair if you offer us your time and your energy for us to give you something in return, to give you something back. So, first of all the candidates that successfully finish the program in 6 months, they all get a certificate at the end from the public diplomacy section of the US Embassy. And usually these certificates are signed by the US ambassador. So for those people that are looking to solidify their volunteer experience, I definitely think this is a plus, and it will look very, very good on your portfolio. So don't hesitate to grab this opportunity and use it at your advantage. Also, all the volunteers at the beginning, just when they start, we are all together doing different webinars and trainings. The webinars and trainings are in design and social media content and public speaking, and now it's going to be article writing. So if you are looking to experiment a little bit or learn more about that, then hey, free training never hurt nobody. This is a great opportunity for you to get to know people from the public diplomacy section better, from American Spaces better. And yeah, why not benefit from free stuff? And my favorite, I think, is hands-on experience in event management. Our volunteer program is looking at giving people the opportunity to shine as bright as they can during different programs. And it's not just giving tasks to volunteers that are, make copies, make coffee, and arrange chairs. Even sometimes this could also be tasks if we need it for a big event and we need your help. But I think what sets American Spaces volunteer program aside from everybody else is the fact that you can moderate your own events, you create different content that you can, have your name signed at the end, and you can be proud of the products that you deliver. All right. Sasha, you'll let me know if people have any questions, right?
Of course, of course. Right now, just Victoria said hello. That's the only thing. Hello, Victoria.
All right. So let's continue with volunteer responsibility. So what you will be asked to do during this 6 months with American Spaces. First of all, and I think one of the most important thing is that you will work with American Spaces staff to create different innovative virtual and in-person program, right? Because we will continue doing virtual stuff, and you will also be welcome at American Spaces physically to host and moderate your events. And obviously, the staff will be there to help you out. I think if you are, let's say, one village, I think, up in the north that I saw an application from. It was a person from Pelinia, which is a village or town. And obviously, if it's going to be too hard for that person, if selected, to travel to America House Built, you can always do virtual stuff, right? So people who are in Chisinau and want to apply, they can come to America House and host their events. But if they're, let's say, from Resina, right, and we don't have an American space in Resina, but you also can, get involved virtually with, for example, creating engaging content for American spaces. Once again, if you have a computer and access to internet, that's all we need. That's all you need to be a part of our program. And last but not least, and I think this was added with the new program, is to write different articles about our events. And I believe that's an amazing opportunity to practice your writing in English. If you are planning to apply any further to any other university, the more practice you get, the better you get at it.
Yeah, and not that we have several questions for now. I think one you
Right.
already responded. So
Let's
one was,
see. Because I'll.
yeah, let's do it right away so
Uh-huh.
people will not wait. So you
Mhm.
already responded to this one. Yes, this is possible to do volunteering online, right?
Yep. 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 Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Um,
Another question. Yeah, yeah.
And
Continue.
yeah. Just a second.
Hmm.
Obviously, yes, you can participate online. We do have happy hours with volunteers that we are doing them online, and obviously, people gather at the American spaces, but you can still feel connected with the entire team. And I think the past 2 years proved that there's no such thing as not possible to get involved. If you want, you
Exactly.
can be there. So yeah, it is possible.
Okay, okay. And Dmitry asks, do I have to sign a contract for a volunteering program? What if sometimes I'm too busy?
All right. So, yes, before people start their official experience as a volunteer of American Spaces, we do sign a volunteer agreement where it's stated exactly how many hours of volunteering you need to perform per month. What if I'm too busy? I think we had this experiences when volunteers, something happened in the family, they moved to another country, they do get too busy. I think we kept a policy of open conversation and honest conversation. If you are too busy, let's say for a specific month, that you tell your coordinator that I'm going to be super busy for this month, but I will definitely catch up next month with extra stuff that I want to do for American Spaces. Or if you just realize that you are definitely too busy to continue the overall program, then I think you just tell us and we thank you for your service and we go our separate ways. Um,
Okay, great. We have a little bit more questions, but let's first continue with your presentation and then we'll get back to the questions.
sure, sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how you can apply because this is a two-step kind of process, and I want people to really focus and understand that in order for you to be considered a candidate, you need to have your application complete 100% with both things. So if you, for example, do just the application form and you don't send us a video, which I'm going to talk in the next slides about, then you will not be considered for this program. If you send us just the video but you don't fill in the application form, you'll also not be considered for this program, eligible for this program. So you need to complete the application, and where you can find the link everywhere on our social media. America House, Chisinau, Bulls, American Corner Ungain, American Center Tiraspol. They all changed their cover photos. If we are talking about Facebook, they all changed their cover photos with an announcement for the volunteer program. You click on it, and in the description, you will find the link to the application form. If you go to our Instagram accounts, and at the end of my presentation, I will share how you can find us on Facebook and how you can find us on Instagram. All spaces change or added the link to this application form in their bio. So there is no way you cannot find the link to this application form. And tell me if you see the application form. No, you still see the presentation. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me share
Okay.
actually
And
the application.
until okay, it's there. Okay. Yep.
But
We
do
see
you
it.
have a question?
I mean, we have questions, but again,
Mhm.
we see the application form,
Yes.
and I think it's very easy. It's very simple,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I don't know. I don't see any problem with understanding this. But in case if
Yeah.
anyone will have, you can again text us on those Facebook pages or Instagram pages that Nada told, and we
Yeah.
will just help you. But I think it will be fine.
Sasha, if you can go for a second, like full screen, so
Oh,
people can
okay.
see the application
Let
form,
me do this. Let me
and
do
I
that.
will just give
Yep.
short,
Here.
perfect. I will give short explanation. So first,
Mhm.
what you are going to see is actually a little introduction about us as American Spaces, and then you will find the application started. So we are asking about your name, your age, an email address, phone number. One thing to keep in mind, please, please, for this period of time that you are applying, and actually the first couple of weeks of us getting together, email is very important. We do communicate a lot through email. So if you forgot the password, now it's time to reset the new password. All the all the information, I do this from the goodness of my heart. If your application is not full 100%, I will email you and I'll tell you, we don't have your video. Please send your video, or we don't have your application. Please fill in the application. But email is mostly how I communicate with everybody. So please, please, for this period of time, turn on the notification and make sure you read your emails. So obviously we will ask you, where are you from? If you from another city or town, please specify here. We ask you about your hobbies, your volunteering experiences. It's okay if you don't have any volunteer experience. You just need to write down a sentence that you don't have any volunteer experience, but you are really eager and curious to start actually volunteering. Then another thing that it's important for you to keep in mind, we will ask you to choose which one of these activities suit you better and your interest better. And this is basically most of what you will be doing during 6 months with us, but not necessarily. Sometimes we do like to switch roles, and sometimes, we create mixed teams together. But please choose one role that you feel more confident in, completing during the 6 months. We ask you how comfortable you are speaking in front of a camera, because you will be asked to do Instagram stories and Instagram lives and Facebook lives, or speak in front of a live audience. All right, then virtual events and all of that stuff. So it is very important to answer fully with, full question, full sentences and paragraphs to the questions you are actually asked to share something about you. So let me go back to my presentation.
And while you do this, we have one more question from Daniela. How many volunteering hours should one have per month?
Oh, that's a very good question, because
Mhm.
we usually decide this before we contact a finalist. But from the previous experience, if I'm not mistaken, it was 40
Yep.
patrulheros, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Mhm.
but this number does change from program to program, from 6 months to 6 months. So I'm not sure what the number is going to be for this new group, but for the past couple of groups, it was 40 hours of volunteering
Mhm.
per month, not
Mhm.
per week, but per month in general. All right.
And one more question from
Yeah,
Dmitry. I'm not letting you go to your presentation yet.
that's
So
okay.
Dmitry is asking, how many volunteers are there in general?
Well, we've never had a group bigger than 25 people overall for all American spaces. So that's typically what we are looking at, 20 people, more or less. It depends what kind of candidates we're gonna have. If all of them
True.
will shine bright like diamonds, then we may actually take all of them. But usually we look at a group of 20 people, and they are coming from different cities in Moldova. But we will be looking closer to people from where we actually have American spaces, which is Belz, Chisinau, Ungheni, and Tiraspol.
Okay, now I will add the presentation. Okay, Nata, you can
All
continue.
right. So, what you saw up until now, you saw our application form that you need to complete and answer all the questions. Well, all the questions are required, so you will not be able to move to the next question without completing the previous one. And actually, American Spaces staff will spend time to read all your application form. So if you could give us full sentences, we will deeply appreciate this. And if you just, because I've seen some applications in my lifetime, you leave us just with a yes or no, or I don't know, giving us incomplete answers. I think this shows that you are not really there with the dedication for this program, and maybe we are not a very good match. So this is your moment to shine and not be modest. Give us all you want. There are people applying from all over Moldova, so it's no time to be shy. I'll tell you that much. The second part of the application form is actually a 60-second video or a minute video, more or less. And it's a video invitation to a potential event that you are personally hosting at America House. You need to send it to the email address that is indicated in all our promo materials, which is AM, stands for American, spaces Moldova at gmail.com. And in this, if you don't know what to say in this video invitation, we gave you a few suggestions. You can start with saying, "Hi, my name is," and you got to greet your audience. Then you tell them a little bit about what the event is about, right? And when it comes to the event, as I mentioned here, imagination has no limits. You want to invite people to a conversation session with President Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris? Do it. We don't want to make you say that your event is real or not real. Okay, it really doesn't matter. For us, the most important thing is how comfortable you are speaking in front of the camera and how good you are with like sending a video to the email address, and if you know how to capture the attention of people. And at the end, you can name one reason people should attend or watch online in case it's a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live. And Sasha, can you give us a short example of how this would look like
Uh,
or sound like?
so basically, my name is Alexander Villero, and I'm event manager at America House, and we are inviting you for our Facebook Live session that we will host on La 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 date. And on this date, we will have attending this event. You will find out how to become a superstar, and and our special guest is Nata Andreev that will tell us all about this. We are waiting for you if you're interested in being a superstar. Superstar, superstar. That's it.
All right. See, it's not that hard. Another way of doing it. Hi, my name is Nat Andreev. I am an American Spaces volunteer at America House Chisinau, and I'm inviting everyone for a very special screening and discussion. We will watch the latest episode of Euphoria and have a conversation with no other than Zendaya. She came to Moldova and she wants to meet her Moldovan fans. So do not miss this extra special event. Something like this. See, it's not
Yep.
that difficult, right? And we just want to see how you vibe with the camera and how comfortable you are with, inviting audiences to visit your space and or attend the event that you are planning at America House. All right, and some dates for people to kind of understand how we gonna maneuver from now on. First of all, we do have an Instagram live next week on America House Chisinau page. So if you didn't follow us, please do so. And it's going to be a very special session because I invited alumni of the program, people who did the program years ago, and you'll have the opportunity to ask them how they benefited from the program, where are they now, what are they doing, and if you have any questions directed to the people who were volunteers back in the days, you're more than welcome to join. And obviously, the deadline is April 24th. Please, please, please remember. As soon as that clock turns 0001, that means your application will not be considered and your video will not be watched by American Spaces Stuff. And I think that's very important to remember. Only finalists will be contacted on April 28th. So if on April 28th or by the end of April 28th, which is 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you did not receive a congratulation, you were selected, then unfortunately you didn't pass and you didn't become a volunteer for American Spaces Program. We will appreciate if, you will understand that there are lots of you that apply, and there are just a few of us who manage this program. So only finalists will be contacted on April 28th. Any questions so far?
Yes, there is one,
Oh,
not for me, but we
okay.
have one question just to remind. So Victoria is asking, how old do you need to be to become a volunteer? So
Yep.
you already answered this, but let's remind once again.
So we are looking at 16 and 21 years old. So starting with 16, the minimum, and ending with a 21 as the maximum. Yes,
Mhm.
in the past, we did have candidates that were 15, for example, or 14, for example. And we accepted them only because they were really, really good. So I don't want to discourage people that are, for example, 15, right? From applying, but I don't want to encourage them either because if you have great candidates and one is 16 and the other one is 15, chances are we'll go with 16 because this is the candidates criteria that we are looking at rather than 15. So we don't want any broken hearts, right? So please stick to the criteria that we are having for the program.
Okay, and one more question from
Mhm.
Dmitry again. Can I participate both online and offline? I'm gonna leave in Chisinau for some time in summer, so I could work both ways.
I
Even
think you
better.
answered your question,
Yeah,
Dmitry.
it is even better. It is
I
even better. Yeah, yeah. Continue.
I think you answered your question. I
Mhm.
also think it's important to keep in mind that all our American spaces are following the city guidelines. The pandemic is still here. So, if, for example, they don't allow in-person events, that means everything we will do will be virtual. If they allowed in-person events, you will need to work with American spaces staff. You know, in order to make sure you can actually host events physically in our spaces. But yes.
Yeah, and speaking about hours, you don't get hours for being only here at America House. You get specific amount of hours for doing some tasks that we are giving to you. So even though it's online or on site, you can do both. Whatever works for you, whatever works for us as well. It just depends on the what you can offer.
Yes. And I think we are talking about hours mostly when we have our meet and greet with the finalists, because we will also tell them what we are up to. We will read the volunteer agreement, and let's just say if one of the finalists doesn't want to participate anymore because realizes it's too much and he will not be able to handle. Obviously, this is life. We encourage open conversation. That's okay. You're still welcome at American Spaces, but we will just take somebody from the alternate list. So life happens. But in more details about ours, I think we talk with the finalists, not at this stage in the recruiting.
Hmm.
Um,
Basically, that's it with the question for now. You can continue with the presentation. I think there's
yes,
something
but
left.
I do think that's what's
Oh,
it.
that's yeah. Okay, let's remind them that deadline is April
Oh,
24. Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yes, this is perfect because this is how you can find us on social media. Our Facebook pages, our Instagram accounts. Once again, next week we will host an Instagram live. And we will be talking with alumni of the program, people who already, participated, and what happened with their lives after our volunteer program. And yes, if you will also look, especially on Instagram, through the feed of the page, you will see actually a lot of content that was created by our volunteers. And I think you can definitely tell that. Mostly these are carousels about different events, historic events, or cultural days that are happening in the world, in the United States and Moldova. So if you want to take a look at the content and see if you're up for the challenge, then you can definitely do that.
Yep. Very, very that. And don't forget to also follow our all of our pages because this way you will also find out how you can create your own video. Like what are we usually paying attention to?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you can do kind of like take the scheme from there and
Yes.
just use it, apply it for your video. It's just easier to get an example, get a glimpse of you, and just then apply it for your video. I think it will be just easier if you will check what American Spaces are doing.
I think that's going to be, if we can give tips and tricks right now on, what we want to see in the applications form in case that people, for example, never volunteered, right? Or they may want to steal our hearts and impress us. Even though you've never been to American Spaces, you can still take a look at what we've done so far on our Facebook pages and on our Instagram. Talk to us about how amazing we are. And yeah, you have all the chances to impress us. But please, it's very, I want to say sad, but if you don't do your research and you don't find out about what you are applying for, right? What is the organization mission and goals? Then it's very hard then to work together and have a beautiful collaboration together. So please do your research before actually applying for the program. Don't just apply for the sake of applying and never have a genuine interest in what we are doing.
Agree, agree, and have actually nothing more to add. There's a lot of things that I wanted to tell, but I think we will continue the conversation about this with the finalists. So I cannot
Mhm.
wait for a new group of people because uh, previous volunteers, I mean, they were very interesting. It was my first
Mhm.
time when I was coordinating them. They taught me a lot, and I hope I taught them a lot as well. Let's hope for this, but they were definitely an interesting group of people, and I really, really want to meet new people, new volunteers that we will have.
Yeah, actually, if you are selected and you are from Chisinau, Sasha will be the person that you will mainly work with and collaborate with. And together with Sasha, he's got other two colleagues that are super eager to work with you. And then, in Bults, you will have other coordinators, and in Ungain, you'll have other coordinators. So it will be interesting to actually get to work with a national team of people. It's not going to be just one person that does it all or one coordinator that you will be
Mhm.
listening to. You will get to collaborate with different people. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and you also don't only communicate with coordinators, you also communicate
Yeah.
with other volunteers from other countries, from other cities or villages. And so, because of this, I think you just make new connections, make new friends. It's also a fun, nice part of being a volunteer at American Spaces.
And as young people, this is what you want to start working on. The most important factor of your career and education is your networking. Sometimes it all comes down to who you know and how well you know, and
Mhm.
start working on your network now. And what a better way to start your network than with a national volunteer program supported by the US Embassy.
And with having the diploma in the end with a stamp, signed.
Exactly, stamp of
So
approval.
like it's a really nice thing that you can use for your future. As Nata said, maybe you want to apply for university or something like this. It's really useful.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Do we have any questions?
I think we don't have any questions for now, but
Mhm.
just in case you haven't managed to ask your question, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and we will get back to you even offline. It's fine. We will get back to you with an answer. But I think Nata answered most of them perfectly. Even I understood everything. So thank you, Nata, one more time for finding time
Very
for us.
welcome.
I'm reminding everyone that we were talking about the volunteer program that started right now this week. We are already accepting your applications. Just check. Everyone is saying thank you for answering all our questions.
You're
Thank you.
very
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you very much for being with us today. And as I said, feel free to contact us just in case you still have some questions left.
Yep.
Okay, I cannot wait for your applications and to see your videos. Thank you very much, and bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.